Everyone, what's up? Welcome back. LJ here again. Wanted to spend a few minutes with everyone tonight, give you an idea of what I've been listening to, some of my thoughts on it, and some new things I've picked up. Trying to mix these up and also keep them brief. I'm trying not to just show everyone, hey, here's what I picked up, here's what I picked up, here's what I picked up, but circle back and here's some of the things that I've listened to and what are some thoughts. And a lot of people move on the same idea and it's really helpful. I have to admit, my wish list has grown exponentially since becoming a part of the vinyl community, and that's both a good and a bad thing. Picked up a lot of great recommendations from you guys, but of course finding them at a good price and the anxiety to find them and when it happens can be tough. Start with a couple of things that I've been really hooked on lately. Grand Funk Railroad, and this one is closer to home. I picked this and a few others up that I'll do in another video recently. And 70s rock, you know, wasn't something that I was ever really into. I grew up in the 80s and big 80s metal fan and Kiss fan and Zeppelin and stuff like that, but the 70s rock was always for me the classic rock stations, which means the hits, only the hits. And you know, it wasn't until I found a few of these at the thrift store really cheap and put them on that I was like, damn, I slept. I'm sorry guys. And you know, it's just, this is fantastic. And Grand Funk, I've quickly found out, is known for just either their quick short bursts or their long drawn out stuff. And I'm Your Captain is one of the long drawn out ones here, and man, amazing. And like I said, I found a few other ones that are really good as well. Really good. Picking that up, I also found a mint copy of Caught in the Act. It's Grand Funk's live record. And this was actually really good. I know they have another famous one, Grand Funk Live or Lives in, but this has a great cover of Some Kind of Wonderful and the Stones' Gimme Shelter, which I thought was really good. It also has a very weird cover of The Locomotion, which for me was just a really weird tune for them to cover. It does nothing for me, but the rest of it, it's a double LP set, Gatefold, was phenomenal. Definitely highly recommended this and Closer to Home. Absolutely pick them up. Shifting genres a little bit, I think we all have our days or nights or days on end where you kind of just get into something completely different than what you're listening to. And I don't think any of us are really pigeonholed into one style, one genre, and you know, I definitely have other loves as well. And bossa nova, jazz fusion, funk, that kind of thing is also very near and dear to me. Definitely. Very varied musical interests, and I know many of us have those. And this is one that I picked up. It's Sergio Mendes in Brazil, 66, Look Around. And I was definitely already familiar with these guys, and I think besides having one of the most fantastic covers, I mean, the colors are fantastic. You know, Sergio Mendes, of course, did some work with Herb Alpert and so forth, but there's just some great bossa nova-ish type music on here and jazzy. They did a cover of With a Little Help from My Friends, the Beatles tune on here, which is absolutely brilliant. And there's another really great song on here called The Frog, which is just jazzy as all hell in bossa nova. It's friggin' great. If you know, honestly, if you stumble by this or stumble on it, yard sale, pretty cheap, and pick it up, it's great stuff. Great sound, a lot of fun. You know, Astrud Gilberto does a version of Light My Fire, which is along the same lines as bossa nova and light and airy, and it's got that Brazilian sound to it. This is very similar. You cannot go wrong. On that same Herb Alpert note, I did find what you're hearing in the background now, and that was a mint condition replacement copy to my otherwise pretty beat copy of Herb's Rise. I do have just about every Herb Alpert record. I know everybody sees them everywhere. They're so commonplace, but that's because Herb was the man back in the day, and still was heading into this. And I listened to this again last night with a new set of ears, and I mean, holy shit, what a fantastic record. Side 1, that is. And side 1 opens up with, you know, 1980, which is just this unbelievable fanfare. And I was listening to it and I was like, dude, if Rocky Balboa had a theme song besides Eye of the Tiger, good song, that he came out to, it would be this. 1980 is just this big horns and dun-dun, it's crazy good. And that segues into Rise, which you can hear in the background, in which everybody knows like the back of their hand. Rise, and you know, when Rise was released, it was not an immediate hit. And from what I've read and the research that I've done, it wasn't until Rise was used during the rape scene of Luke and Laura in General Hospital. No, I do not watch soap operas, but Mom did. Child of the 80s, Mom taped her soap operas. Taped with a VCR. Wow. High-tech stuff, and of course, being used there, Rise goes through the roof, and Rise would, later be used in a very, very popular hip-hop song to drive it over the top. So, to give you a little sample of what that sound clip is that was used in that song, and see if you can identify where it came from. Production team, cue that up. So I'm sure you can imagine where that came from. That's right, it was sampled by the Notorious B.I.G. in Hypnotize, of course, a song that went through the roof, over the top, a big call back to Herb Alpert, and hip-hop's notorious for that, right? Sampling things, reinventing them, raise the roof, put it down, bring it up, put it out. It's just amazing stuff. I will say that side 2 of this, I believe, is an album of covers. Rise was a single, and Herb, smart enough, ever the businessman, to make a full-blown release out of it, needed another side of material, and side 2, I believe, is covers. There's some vocals there, and, really just, it was not fantastic, but put side 1 on, let it go. It's just an amazing disco, jazzy, funk, damn, good, get it. The last one that I've been listening to lately, over the last couple of days, is Dave Mason's Let It Flow. I didn't have any Dave Mason material in the collection, and I grabbed this because I knew We Just Disagree is on this, which is a great song. And but I really hadn't heard any other Dave Mason stuff other than people talk about him here and there, and I was really impressed. It was a solid listen. I would definitely recommend it to anyone. This was $1. And it was a great find. It seemed like every other song worked really well. There's some real good standouts. And, of course, We Just Disagree is one of those. It plays for me kind of like, it's AM Gold. I mean, like Badfinger's Day After Day, Dave Mason's We Just Disagree. Just, great period stuff. It was really, really enjoyable. I'll keep going. I also picked up a handful of 70s and 80s R&B stuff. I also do love R&B, absolutely. It really just depends on the mood. I want to say as much as metal or rock, and it's really just the mood, and you got to be diverse. Obviously, somebody had turned in their collection. These were all from Goodwill. These were all 50 cents, and these are all in fantastic condition. I didn't have it in my heart to leave them there and let them suffer. When buying this stuff, you can go wrong, so always the rule of thumb is, if somebody on the cover has an afro, grab it. More than one afro, definitely grab it. It's 80s R&B if somebody on the cover or the back cover has a Jerry curl. That just means they used to have an afro, and they've since relaxed it. So if either of those 2 criteria are met, it hits the rack, it's good stuff. Haven't listened to any of these yet. I'll definitely shoot another video when I have something to say about them. Some I do have familiarity with, other pieces, and some not, but feel free to leave me a comment down there in the white part if you have any feedback. First was Slaves, Showtime. Again, we have some Jerry curls and some afros going on back there, so I know it's going to be good. LTD, or Limited, Togetherness. I do already have some of their stuff in the collection, so I'm sure this will be great. Heat Waves, Central Heating. We do have some afros back here, so we're in business. It's good stuff. This one just looked Parliament maggot brain cool. I mean, killer stuff. This is T-Connection Twilight Zone Afros. Have not listened to it yet. It's on Dash Records, which was a pretty cool label. It was a new one for me. Thought that was very cool. Definitely looking forward to listening to it. Checked it out on eBay pretty quick. It seems to be one that goes for, $12, $15, $20, so I'm sure it's just not around on CD, excuse me. Solid as a rock. Is it still good to you? Ashford and Simpson. Nicholas Ashford and Valerie Simpson have been writing hits for people forever and ever and ever in a day, and they have some of the biggest songs in R&B history to their name, far beyond the hit that is solid, so I can't imagine this is going to be bad at all. Next up, Chic. I did not have this one in the collection at all. I'm very familiar with Chic and their music. I haven't heard this in ages. Definitely looking forward to listening to it again, if neither one of them blow those on me. Last one I wanted to share with you guys is the Brothers Johnson. And if this doesn't qualify as one badass 70s R&B record, nothing does. And this is the Brothers Johnson, Right on Time. Very definitely looking forward to listening to it, as with all the others. And again, I'll definitely shoot a video and let you guys know how they turned out, what I thought of them. If you have any thoughts or comments or direction, or God, that's terrible, don't sell it, or hey, that's the unicorn I've been looking for, let's trade, whatever, feel free to leave it. Thanks for spending time with me tonight, and as always, keep the vinyl spinning, guys. Rock on.